everybody. I am Navneeta and we are here in Grapevine AMC. Personal preview of the Kashmir File is happening here, and here we are to interview the producer, director, screenwriter of this film, The Kashmir Files, and he is none other than Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri. With him is joining Pallavi Joshi, his beautiful wife, who's not only the producer of this film, she's also acting in this film. Recently, Vivek Agnihotri won the National Film Award for screenplay of the Kashmir Files for the dialogues. And he has some great work behind him, The Buddha in the Traffic Jam, and his wife Pallavi Joshi does some great work, and she talks a lot about relevant subjects apart from all the good work she has done in TV and films. So be with us. You are joining in through FunAsia, and we thank our CEO Vaishali Thakkar for bringing such celebrities on the airwaves of FunAsia Radio. And we will be talking to the two and finding out more about the Kashmir Files. We are with Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri, and here he doesn't want to talk the seriousness about the Kashmir Files, but really want to see and talk about the lightness about the movie. So let us go light, Vivek ji. आप मुझे ये बताइए कि what were the light moments of this very serious film?
देखिए, you know what happens is when you are making a serious film, it actually comes from lightness, because if you are very serious about it, then you will keep looking at the seriousness. You won't look at the content. You'll just think too much about it. So therefore, it's very important to be very light-headed, and this is how I made this film.
You know, पहले जब ये scene था Sachin, and we got to see a little bit of this film. उसके बाद रोंगटे खड़े हो गए. Seriously, the change that I experienced myself. I've not seen the film completely. I came out in halfway just to talk to you because you just had this time with us. But it is serious. Nobody has heard the stories. People have tried to show something about the film, but they have not been able to do justice. And in Himalayas, you were concluding this script as an interview of yours came out. Talking and listening to so many stories and putting it in a script, how did that happen?
आपने जो बोला रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं, the thing is, idea was to take people in that place and make them feel what terrorism feels like. I didn't want the audience to see it from outside. I wanted them to see it inside, be there, part of that scene. That's what we did, and for that, Pallavi and I, we traveled all over the world. We met people, interviewed them, we cried and cried and cried, and we started feeling like we were part of that. And when we felt that we were part of that, then after that it wasn't difficult. It was very easy, because then it was our pain which was coming out. So if you see the whole film, you will realize that it's our pain which is translating on the screen.
You shot in the valleys of Kashmir, and did you find challenges doing that?
See, shooting in Kashmir is challenging, A, because of the weather, the climate, and secondly, because of the security reasons. So both ways, and when we went, snowfall was very heavy and the lake got frozen, so it was very difficult to shoot over there. Third biggest problem was COVID, and once we were shooting the whole film there, got cancelled. Then next time somehow we managed to do it. So it was very challenging, but I don't know, there was divine intervention and things kept happening, yeah.
And good things are thought, though the universe makes it happen. So Vivek ji, tell me, you shot and you guys used to eat. Did you eat the Kashmiri food out there?
All the times, you know, I while interviewing all the people, we always used to eat Kashmiri food. And in Kashmir, once I commented on Kashmiri food, which is called Wazwan, then they issued fatwa on me. So, yeah, but yes, I am very fond of Kashmiri food. I like, because I'm a vegetarian and Kashmiri people make great vegetarian food.
So, what have been your best moments while shooting this film?
I'm not that kind of a filmmaker who picks up and says best moments and this and that. For me, this whole journey has been very spiritual. So for me, everything is the best moment. But if you ask me honestly, what has been the best moment? I think the best moment is now when I'm showing this film everywhere, and when the Kashmiri Pandit community is watching it and they come out and say, this is our story. When they say this is our story, which means we were sincere in our efforts, we were honest in our efforts, and we did not try to manipulate anything. That is, so we have passed the test. Like they say, Pappu pass ho gaya, yeah.
That is really commendable, because you know all the Kashmiris who haven't been heard at all, and now when they see the true story coming out, you are definitely on the radar of speculation and also notice what you are doing. But tell me, what is your expectation from this film? Are you planning to make any changes, or is it a storytelling to make everybody aware of what has happened?
Okay, so I have no expectations from the film, but I have expectations from the people who watch the film. You cannot have expectations from the film. What can film do on it? So I have expectations from people that when they see it, at least they think about it, they go to social media, they write about it and fight for the justice for the persecuted people. Whoever, wherever the persecuted people are, they fight for it, they write about the film, and make people aware so that more people see this film. More people see means more awareness. More awareness means more understanding, and more understanding means a step towards justice for the persecuted brothers and sisters.
Absolutely. And meanwhile, the Article 370 also got passed. So do you see that? What are your thoughts on it?
See, it's a good move in a certain direction. It's a solution to a administrative problem, because now Kashmir is not a disputed region anymore. It's an integral part of India. But the killings are being done on a continuous basis, and as far as the humanity aspect is concerned, there has not been any solution. So I hope that this movie will help move in that direction. Try to read about India, try to learn about India, and you will discover about humanity and about yourself.
Awesome. And here we have with us the gorgeous, the beautiful Pallavi Joshi. She's not only the producer of this film, and she's wife of Vivek Ranjan Agnihotri, but she's acted brilliantly. I saw a little part of the film, and you've done such an amazing job. Oh my God, the activist in you comes out, and the feeling with which you are delivering your dialogues, which you've done so beautifully in all the movies that you have done it. But this is close to your heart. It feels like. How was it? How was it to pick up a subject like this?
Well, Vivek picked the subject. In all honesty, I didn't know about this issue at all. But when we finished with our research and when we had the script in our hand, I was probably the proudest person, not just as the producer of the film, not just somebody who was acting in the film, but as somebody who's married to this genius of a man who, made the story come alive.
You give me goosebumps with that statement of yours. But immediately you jumped into thinking that this is what you guys want to do, your next project?
Yeah, after we were still working on Kashmir Files when Vivek started talking about Kashmir. And Tashkent was under production, so I was busy with that. But we started with the research, and as the story started coming out, I realized that there is so much more to this. And then we decided to take this tour to USA and UK, where we met the first generation of the victims, people who lost their mother, people who lost their brother, their uncle, their aunt. And we heard some horrible stories. I mean, it's inhuman for, anyone to even think about doing this to another human being, while this has been done to this entire community. It was a genocide, and you can't even begin to, I can't even begin to tell you the horrors that the people went through. We collected over 700 testimonials from the Kashmiri Pandits living both in India and all across the globe. And after that, it was a nightmare, I thought, to, get all these stories and, weave it into a screenplay. And Vivek struggled for a long time with it, but then one fine day, it was like a eureka moment for him. He just woke up and he knew he had the script in hand.
That's so awesome. So many stories, and doing one story out of all that and telling everything is commendable. Here, when we are talking to you, Pallavi, you shot. You shot in all places. You accompanied him, or you shot in places where you just had your role to play.
No, I was there throughout, right from the first day of the shooting up until the last. So, Dehradun, Missouri, Kashmir, Mumbai, wherever we shot, I was always there. I was one of the producers of the film, and the entire creative responsibility was on me. So, I was the first one to reach the sets and the last to leave.
So really the better half, or the more half, I would say, because both of you make a great team, and believing in a subject together, one, that is a huge thing, and then going after it. This is not an easy subject to pick, because I have so many friends who say that our community is so small, only around 7 million people who are living, and especially when most of them have left the country because they felt as refugees in their own country, and they took education and moved to different places. And now the second generation, there are intercaste marriages, and Kashmiri Pandits are getting lost. What do you have to say about that? But because since you have spoken to so many people.
See, about the second generation getting married into different communities, I think it's fine, because at the end of the day, we are all Indians. As long as, like, I'm a Marathi, Vivek is a non-Maharashtrian, so, but in our marriage, we have both managed to keep our own cultures alive, and we have tried to give it to our children. So as long as you can do that, it's fine. But yes, the community has suffered a lot. In fact, when they had to leave Kashmir, and most of them came into the Jammu camps, there were about 15 people living in one tent. And hence, a lot of them, unfortunately, could not have kids because there was no privacy. So, Kashmiri Pandit community is standing on, the edge of extinction. And if we hadn't moved now, God knows if we would have even heard about the community 50 years later. So I'm glad that it's been 30 years too late, but I'm glad that at least now there is some document to show the world of the pain and the suffering that this community went through. And I'm very glad that somehow we were the chosen ones to put this in front of people.
Beautiful. Chosen ones also because of the work they put in. How has your experience been after the private screenings that you have done in different places?
So the response from the Kashmiri Pandits community was kind of expected, because we knew that they would have to relive the horrors again for over 3 hours watching the movie. But what is really overwhelming is the response from the non-Kashmiri community that we've got. May it be Indians, may it be white Americans, African Americans, Hispanics, Asian Americans. All sorts of people have watched this film, and it has been a unanimous response, which means that the film is appealing to all kinds of people, through all races, through all colors, through all communities. And as filmmakers, we feel so blessed about it.
You have really taking a subject like this, reaching out to everybody. I think you are definitely getting a lot of blessings. It has been an untold story. A lot of people who have fled, they have not been heard of. And they have not been heard of for years and generations. And some people have closed and shut off because they do not have any place to go back to. They don't have their roots, they don't have their homes. And they still feel lost and in the world because they don't have any home to go back to. I think this is home, Pallavi ji. This movie is home, and this movie that you've made has given them an identity. And a lot of people I know who are my friends who completely shut themselves. They would not want to see the movie because they are actually in a closed den where they do not want to face what happened because they want to just shut it off. But now you're opening the wounds again, I'm telling you. And that will go a long way. And I think India should hear this story. each one of us should hear this story. And you've done an amazing job with that.
All I can say is that, I know 30 years is a long time, but at the end of the day, we all have to fight the hopelessness. We should not let hopelessness seep into our souls. There is still time. There will always be time. Look at the opportunities that are created now due to social media. Their voices can be heard. That's how we heard about their story. That's how we reached out to them. So, der aaye, durust aaye, as we say in Hindi, things will happen. Things take. There is a line in the film which I think just summarizes this whole thing. It says that impossible takes time, but you must always keep hope.
Wonderful. And we'll end with that. Impossible takes time, and we should always keep hope. Thank you so much, Pallavi ji. Lovely talking to you. And just a last message that you want to give to viewers who are watching your film. What should they come in mind with?
I just would like to remind all the Indians living in India and all across the world. If you've studied in Indian school, you'll remember the pledge that we used to sing in school, that all Indians are my brothers and sisters. Just remember that. I think a gross injustice has been made to the Kashmiri Pandit community, but it's now, it's time for all the Indians to stand together. They are our brothers and sisters. We have absolutely no Kashmiri connections, but the only reason we are standing with them is because they are fellow Indians and they are our brothers and sisters. All you can do is watch the movie, spread the word, talk to your friends about it, ensure that this voice is heard. That also ensures that there are more Vivek Agnihotris and Pallavi Joshis who will have the courage, who will get this courage and make more movies, and more truths, hidden truths of India will come out.